Who do you think get better outcomes? The talented or the hardworking? Let me put this in another words. Do you think the success will come for those who study hard, who get high effort in learning and preparing themselves and put this effort to get the best outcome, or those ones who was just born with it? Those guys who God sees when they were babies and said, oh, this is gonna be the guy. Let me introduce him the gene of success. Probably you would say me that both are important. Part of success depends on what you were born with, the innate part of you, and what you built on you. But how much of each part is important? Is there one that's more important than other? People tend to evaluate talent more than effort. They believe that people was born with something magical and the success is result of lucky. Those guys who were born with it get better outcomes. But is it really true? Let's start by defining some of those concepts. Talent may be defined as the speed that one learns. If I put some effort to learn something, one who is more talented learn it faster. That's what you are born with, the speed for learning, and some people can learn faster than others. Let me give you an image to use as a metaphor to understand talent. Think about two different bottles, a thinner one and a wider one. If you put some liquid inside the thinner one, the level of liquid gets high faster than the wider one that gets high lower. Think about this level of liquid as someone's skill level. If you put the same amount of water or liquid in those two different bottles, someone will get a higher level of skill than the other one. That means some people learn faster and easier than other ones. This liquid that I'm putting inside of the bottle is what I'm calling effort. The time, the concentration, and the commitment that someone have trying to do something repeatedly, continuously, and trying to improve each time you're doing it forward. To develop a skill, it depends on effort. I mean, if you want to raise the level on those bottles, you have to put effort on it. And I can say that in general, most part of people don't put a lot of effort in developing their skills. Generally, the level of skills are really low. Someone who dedicates a little bit of effort, more than majority, tends to get a higher level of skill than generally they get. Of course, some people are going to make it easier than other ones because they are more gifted or more talented by born. But you can develop your skills anyway. The good news about those with large bottles is that those bottles are not exactly continuous parallels. They change form over time. That means when you put some effort and develop some skills, your talent can also be developed and it becomes easier to learn new skills or to develop your skills. You probably had some experience with something that was very hard at the beginning, and developing new skills as time goes by became easier. For example, a musician that starts playing, it's very hard at the beginning, but learning a new music or a new way of playing for someone who is very skilled is easier. For those who speak different languages, it's hard to learn a new language at first. But as you become more skilled in speaking language, you can develop your skill faster and faster as time goes by and as you put some effort to learn how to do it. Well, with those definitions given, let me bring back my question from the beginning. Does your success depend more on talent or effort? And let's understand that the outcome of what you do depends on the effort that you put on the skills you had developed. I mean, effort multiplied by skills brings an outcome. But to develop a skill, it also depends on effort. Remember that your skills develop when you put effort into the bottle and the liquid is becoming higher. Effort multiplied by your talent, your natural stuff, creates a skill. So when we are thinking about the outcome depends twice on effort and once on talent. So the success of your outcomes will depend 2 times on effort and just on time on talent. So effort is more relevant for your success. But you might be thinking, who wants to get so much effort to get this success? I'm not even sure if I want this kind of outcome or if I really want to succeed. The capacity of maintaining effort over time and in continuity is what we call perseverance. Perseverance is that thing that makes you still do what you're doing or still trying to develop your skills even when it's raining or your car crashed and you hit your thumb on the door and everything goes wrong, but you still keep developing your skills. Perseverance tends to be higher for things you have a passion on it. A passion is something that interests you and that you keep that interest over time, over a long period of time, maintains your interest, or you think that is something that's important for you. So people who have passion on something tends not to give up on them. They have a higher perseverance on those. The book author Angela Duckworth wrote this book, Grit. My one is in Portuguese, garra, but the word in English is grit. And she defines grit as a mix of passion and perseverance. Based on several research and experiments she made, she discovered that the level of grit can relate to the level of success people are achieving in their life. And the good news is that you can develop your level of grit. And in her book, she shares 4 tips for you to develop your level of grit. And I'm going to share those with you right now. Tip number 1 is to find something that interests you more than other stuff. Something interesting is something that you give up about other stuff because this is the interesting one. And when you cultivate that interest, you start becoming passionate about it. And you should know that interests take time and a passion must be developed over time. No one started their life passionate about physics engineering or quantum physics. They started learning and studying about something, and as they learn more and the level of skills get higher, they become more passionate about it. So you have to put some effort to develop your passion. At some point, people just want to talk about that and leave that and put their lives related to that passion that they have. Tip number 2 is to practice in a disciplined approach. Find between that something that got your interest, your passion, a way to improve your skills and make it a disciplined practice. So use some approach that where you are concentrated about doing it and you're measuring the results of your practice. And you can use those measures to figure out how you can better improve your skills on the next time. So you are continuously developing your skills and improving over time through a disciplined practice. Something that is conscious, that you're measuring your results and you are trying to do it better. For example, imagine that you're a physiculturist and you go to the gym to do your exercise. You should measure how much weight you're using, how long is your series, how much time you get to reach some places or to get your results. And every day you are trying a little harder. You are trying to improve your results. That's how a disciplined practice works. You can apply this metaphor not just for physiculturists, but for anything that you can think about developing your skills. Tip number 3 is to relate that passion with a purpose that's bigger than yourself. Something that's not just for your benefit, but it is in benefit of others or other people, or maybe something as a concept like beauty, health, a better world, sustainability, I don't know, something that when you find something difficult and you have a barrier into your development, you say, oh, it's gonna be hard, but I will go forward. I'm going to persevere because this is important. This is something I'm doing for something bigger than myself, for my purpose, a higher purpose that motivates me to become or to keep effort even in stressful or hard situations. The fourth and last tip is to keep some hope that what you are doing can make a difference, that you can change, that your level of skills can develop over time, that the effort that you are putting on developing those skills will get some outcome, that the result will come. Be an optimistic person in terms of what I'm doing is gonna bring some results. So it will help you to keep your effort and to develop your passion. So summarizing everything, interest or a passion that you are focusing on, a disciplined practice, a purpose bigger than yourself, and hope, an optimistic way to look, those are the ingredients to develop your grit. And developing your grit, you have a lot of more chances to get better outcomes or get better results in your life, in your personal life, in your professional life, in your academic life, in your sports life, whatever you're doing, the success may be higher if you have grit. But you might be asking, yeah, okay, but success is not everything in life. I'm more worried about happiness, and success and happiness are not necessarily equal. And you're right. So, happiness depends not just on success, but depends very much on your relationship with other people and your relationship with yourself. So, if you want to be happy, there's not just success that you should look for, but you should look for the greater people. But something I can tell you is that failure is not a very good recipe for happiness as well. So I would say that people who succeed or get better outcomes have very more probability to find happiness than the other ones. So use this as a tip to develop your success, and so as part of things you are looking for your happiness. So let's study, develop our grit, and be happy, be successful. That's the tips for you today.